Tiger Woods offends Alexandria. Don't touch the skin color of Asia. Stuns viewers on live TV. The world of sports was supposed to be pure sweat, spirit, and competition. But beneath the glimmer of medals and applause, darker things sometimes crept in words, whispered online, comments laser hate, questions about identity rather than ability. For Alexandra Eala, the young Filipino tennis prodigy, success had come fast, almost too fast. Her victories lit up Southeast Asia. Her smile became a symbol of hope. And yet, her heritage became a target for critics. Who didn't understand her strength? The storm began quietly. A few cruel remarks. Online after loss, a pundit's careless. Words about global representation. But when one broadcast across the line on live television, mocking the color, narrative of Asian athletes, something broke. The world gasped. And somewhere in California, Tiger Woods, watching from his living room, put down his coffee cup. What followed would become one of the most talked about moments in sports history. The spark before the flame. The morning sun fell across Tiger. Study illuminating trophies from another lifetime. The gleam of green. Jackets. The polished curve of the Masters Cup. Tiger was older now, but the fire hadn't dimmed. His life had been one of constant scrutiny. Questions about race, identity, and belonging. He knew the weight of judgment better than most as he watched a replay of Ella's recent press conference where she tried to smile through reporters. Insensitive question, something inside him stirred. How does it feel? The reporter had asked, to be an Asian player succeeding in a Western-dominated sport. Ella had paused, polite but wounded. I don't think my race defines my game, she said softly. I just play with heart. Tiger leaned back, exhaling slowly. He'd heard this tune before. Decades of headlines about his color, his difference. He whispered to himself. History repeats itself. A call that changed a week. 2 days later, Tiger received a call from the sports network. They were hosting a global panel on the future diversity in sports, and they wanted him to speak. He almost said no. Interviews bored him now, but when they mentioned that Alexandra Eala would also be featured, he paused. You mean the Filipina tennis player? Yes, she's joining from Tokyo. Tiger's voice softened. All right, I'll be there. That decision set the stage for a moment that would echo far beyond tennis and golf. The broadcast begins. It was a bright Saturday morning. Millions tune in across time zones, expecting polite conversation, sponsor-friendly talk. Nothing more. The studio was sleek, digital, almost sterile. A appeared on the left screen, smiling calm. Tiger appeared on the right, poised, eyes sharp. The host began. Welcome to Global Sports Dialogue. Today we're talking about the beauty of representation in modern athletics. But within minutes, the tone shifted. A commentator, perhaps seeking attention, threw a careless line into the air. Well, some fans think the sport's image is changing too much. They miss the traditional dominance, if you know what I mean. Silence. The air tightened. Alexander blinked, unsure whether to respond. Her lips parted, but no sound came, and that's when Tiger Woods leaned forward, the silence before the roar. Tiger's voice began low, steady, the kind of tone that carried weight without needing volume. You know, he said slowly, I've heard those words my whole life. Traditional dominance. It's just a polite way of saying don't change a color success. The studio froze. The host stammered. Tiger, I think. What? But Tiger continued, his voice now stronger, eyes fixed on the camera. When I was a kid, People told me golf wasn't a sport for someone who looked like me. When I won, they called it an exception. When I failed, they called it proof. And now I see a young woman from Asia winning, inspiring millions, and we're still asking she belongs. He paused. The silence was electric. Let me tell you something, Tiger said, his voice steady, his expression calm, but cutting. Don't touch the color of the sport. Don't touch the skin, the heritage, the story that someone brings, because that story is a sport. The room went still. The cameras kept rolling. The words that moved the world. Eala's eyes glistened. The host shifted, nervously, trying to regain control of the broadcast. But Tiger wasn't done. He leaned closer, voice now carrying a quiet fire. You don't measure greatness by skin tone or passport. You measure by discipline, by heart, by courage. This girl, this young champion has all three. And if that threatens your idea of tradition, then maybe tradition needs to evolve. Eala's screen flickered. She wiped a tear discreetly across social media. The clip exploded. Hashtags forming before the segment even ended. Hashtag Tiger for Equality trended in 20 countries. Hashtag Eel Inspires lit up the Philippines like fireworks. It wasn't just a statement. It was a shift in global tone. The aftermath. The next morning, every major sports outlet replayed the moment. Commentators dissected Tiger's words. Some called it a turning point in sports dialogue. Others called it the most powerful silence ever broadcast. A meanwhile woke up in Tokyo to find her phone flooded with messages from fellow players, from kids, from strangers. Thank you for staying strong. You made us proud to be Asian. Tiger was right. You are the sport. Her coach knocked on her door. You ready to practice? She smiled for the first time in days. Yeah, she said. Let's play. Memories of battles past. Later that week, Tiger and Ella met privately via video call. There was no press, no cameras, just two athletes generations apart, bound by shared scars. Tiger spoke first. You handled that with grace. You didn't have to say a word. I replied quietly. I didn't know what to say. It's hard to fight when you're young, when everyone's watching. Tiger nodded, eyes soft. I know, but sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's a pause before someone else amplifies your truth. The letter A. Few months later, Tiger received a handwritten letter postmarked from the Philippines. It was from Ella. Dear Tiger, you didn't just offend me. You defended every kid who's ever been told they didn't belong because of who they are. That day on TV, you turned my silence into strength. I won't forget that, and I'll keep playing not just for trophies, but for truth with gratitude. Alexandra Tiger read it twice, folded it neatly, and placed it beside an old photograph of himself at age 21, the day he won his first Masters title. Full circle, he murmured. Epilogue, the eternal game. The world eventually moved on to new tournaments, new headlines, new controversies. But that one moment remained etched in memory. Whenever people talk about courage in sports, they spoke of that broadcast. Whenever young athletes face discrimination, they remembered Tiger's words. Whenever Alexandra stepped onto a court, she carried not just her country, but a message that difference is power. And somewhere in the heart of sports history, one line still echoed. Don't touch the color of this sport, because that color, that diversity is the beauty of it. The applause never ended. Not because of a match won, but because of a truth spoken. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next